Hi friends. So recently I've been skilling for achievement diary requirements and I found these Sulliuscep mushrooms pretty decent for woodcutting, but I haven't really seen any videos using my exact setup, so I figured I would make one really quick. As for why I like them, they are pretty AFK, but they still give a lot of experience, and they also give fossils for the Varrock Museum, which if you haven't completed the exhibits yet, they give I think about 120k experience in any skill that you want, which I'd like to use for rune crafting. Um, but to go over my method, the gear setup you want to follow pretty closely. Obviously the lumberjack is best in slot for the experience. Then the hit points and regen bracelet are for the HP recovery. Um, hit points cape can also be like a construction cape or something like that. The blessing for the prayer bonus. Suffering is good for the defense to help you take less damage, but it's not that important. And then the holy symbol is so that you can use your prayer book to remove any poison that you get, which will happen sometimes. Oh, as for the axe, obviously you want the dragon or crystal axe. For your weapon slot, you can also use a bulwark to tank damage, but you want to be able to use the special attack for your axe every so often, so I like to just keep the axe equipped. And if you do equip the axe, make sure it's on defensive so you take less damage as well. Inventory, pretty simple. You need the rake, then you want to have your numulite stack, because you're going to get a bunch of those. Then either your house teleport or construction cape. This can also be like a rune pouch with teleport runes. And then the prayer book. Now the goal of this method that I use is to bank as little as possible and to be the most AFK, like you're not going to have to bank to get like food, brews, stamina pots, antidotes, that kind of stuff. Everything you have is going to be self-sufficient. But this does rely on you having some stuff in your house, which we can go over really quickly here. So teleport into your house and you want your rejuvenation pool. Ornate pool is necessary because it will restore your hit points, it'll restore prayer, stamina, and special attack as well, which are all pretty good. And then so typically what you're going to want to do, you're going to want to run to your pool, restore really quick, and then you want a mounted dig site pendant with a fossil island option as your one click. So then you'll just go over there, teleport over here near the mushroom tree, and then you'll just run north and then click option 3 on your keyboard, and it'll take you right over to the trees. And I'm gonna assume you already have that all set up. So now what happens when you start a run is you just run over here to the tree. You click your special attack, and then what I like to do is put on rapid heal as well. And then, so once you start getting mushrooms, what I like to do is I like to, just stack up as many as I can, and then typically when I get a full inventory, I'll drop them while running to the next tree. That one was pretty quick, but usually it'll last a bit longer than that. Then you'll see on the way down here, this spine mushroom can possibly poison you. It didn't poison me there, but what I would do is I would recite my prayer from my prayer book really quick before chopping this tree if I did get poisoned. So what I like to do is, as you saw, I dropped the mushrooms while running to the next tree. And then if I get any fossils, what I'll do is I'll drag them over to the right side of my inventory, like over here. And then that makes it so that I can more quickly drop the mushrooms as I get them. You'll take damage when you're running, but that's fine because of the regen you're going to be having. Just chop these as we go to the next tree here. Those first 2 trees were pretty quick. Usually they last a lot longer. So we might do 2 runs of this just to fully show how this method works. With my level 73 woodcutting, I get around 85k EXP an hour. So it's gonna Keep dragging these mushrooms close together. When you drag stuff, it doesn't interrupt your actions, so it's fine. You don't have to worry about that. So ideally, if you're AFKing a lot, you can just sit here and wait for the mushrooms to build up. Then, like I said, I'll just pretend these are fossils. Like, you can drag them in a line on the right side of your inventory so it's easier to drop mushrooms quickly. But yeah, you just wait for them to stack up, and then it's more optimal to drop them like in little bunches and then keep clicking back to start cutting again. But that's less AFK, so I like to just drop them all at once. So now since my inventory is starting to get full, I'll just drop a bunch here. Like that. Usually around like 6 to 10 at once, and keep chopping. So this tree is taking more what it usually takes to chop down. Hopefully we'll get some fossils so I can kind of go over that. The fossils is like, you only need a certain number before you can complete the exhibit. I think on average it takes around 60 of the large fossils, and then you don't have to worry about them anymore. So if you want to do that, then I would check, you know, your large fossils, and then once you get enough, you don't have to worry about collecting them anymore. You can just drop them along with the mushrooms. Okay, we're gonna drop a few more mushrooms here. And keep chopping. So with my special attack, I usually notice that I get it back around the 4th or 5th tree, if I get it back at all. And that's another reason why this method is pretty good, is that I'll just drop these since we're running over. Be more efficient. I like that the pool in your house gives you more special attacks on average. Whereas if you're not restoring it and you're just using that the mushroom to jump back to the start, then you don't restore your spec. So that's another reason why I like the... I feel like the extra spec kind of makes up for the slight loss in efficiency. Chop this one over here and we'll go north. Now tree number 5, this is usually around where I get my spec back. Sometimes I'll get 3 specs and sometimes I'll only get 1, depending on like RNG of like how fast the trees get chopped down. But as you can see, I'm about 20 seconds off from another spec here. Okay, so there we got a fossil, so what I'll do is I'll just keep it on the right side here. And then I won't drop it when I drop my mushrooms. This part of the run is pretty AFK because you have these 2 trees that are really close to each other, and you don't have to it's just one click over there and you don't take any damage. So this is a good part of the run to do anything if you need to focus more on, if you're alting or doing something else on the side, this is where you can kind of zone out from the game. And drop a bunch of these again. With the fossils, I noticed that I usually, on average, I'll get about 3 or so per trip. And I usually bank them if I have 6 or more, so I'll kind of fill up the side down my inventory on the right side, and then I'll fill up the bottom, and then I'll bank after those get full. Okay, drop the mushrooms again as we run over. And now this is the last tree, so based on how many fossils we have after this is how I'll decide if I want to bank or not. So it's looking like I only have maybe 1 or 2 fossils, which means I'll just go straight in for another run. Okay, so after this, teleport to house. Depending on your stats, you can either... So I don't need to restore, but if I did, I would go over to the pool here. If I was going to bank, I would use my one-click Grand Exchange teleport, but you can also take like a dueling ring or a, you know, crafting cape or some other teleport. If you don't need to bank, just go back to Fossil Island, run up here, and then option 3 again. Then since you use the pool, you can instantly spec again while running over, and you get the maximum efficiency out of your specs that way. Okay, that was pretty quick. I think on average they last for about 16 EXP drops, so it's pretty rare that they get chopped down in one like that. We'll see if this guy poison. I'll just let him poison me right here. Okay, I guess he's not going to. I'd like to show off the prayer book if I can. Yeah, so with that, like, you can tell that you get poisoned, like right around here it'll hit you at 10 and then you get poisoned. So then when you run over here, you just quickly right click it and then you can do that without losing any time. And all that does is it uses a couple prayer points, which you can just restore later anyways. So that, like, eliminating the need for pots like antidotes or whatever, it's really nice because you don't have to bank at all. Like, outside of depositing the fossils, I don't need to bank at all using this method. It's like, yeah, I don't know. It's pretty efficient. Like, you don't lose that much time from teleporting to your house because of how close the teleport is, and then you don't have to fill up the landing thing with mushrooms either, which can be annoying. In general, it's just a lot more AFK to just go to your house every time. Yeah, so typically at this point I would have, like, this is pretty quick for a run and I'm not getting many fossils, but typically I would be like filling up on fossils by now. As you can see, like, I'm taking damage here, but it's pretty negligible because of the rapid heal and all the HP restore that I have. Like, I'm restoring HP really quickly. So honestly, you can do, like, depending on your stats, you can probably do like 3 in a row without even restoring. I just like to do it because of the spec and the, like, it restores run energy. You don't need staminas. You don't need any food. But like, if you have high HP and prayer still, you can just go right in. You don't need to use the pool. Okay, another fossil, so I'm gonna move it over. Again, I don't lose any ticks chopping by doing that. It doesn't interrupt me at all. Let me just drop these really quick. And yeah, that's about it. Like, it's not that hard. Once you get into, like, you do it for a few runs, it's pretty automatic. You don't really have to think about it. And the nice thing about this method is that, like, with the high inventory space that you have, like, a lot of people you'll see they have like 8 brews in their inventory or something like that. But if you do that, then you have to drop your mushrooms constantly. You can't just sit there for a long time. And the benefit of having all this space is that it's really, you can just store up the mushrooms until you have a full inventory and then just drop them while you're running, which in my opinion is a lot more AFK. As for the fossils, like, as I said, you can just start dropping them once you're, if you don't care about them, that'll make it even more AFK. You'll never have to bank. So that's nice. And like you can see here, I'm almost, I didn't get a spec this time because of how fast the run was, but a lot of the times you'll get a second spec there, depending on your woodcutting level. I think if you have a higher woodcutting level, there's less chance that you get a spec, because the trees get chopped down faster. But yeah, so we're getting around 80k here. If I pay more attention and I don't really stop to talk about things, then it's more like 85k, possibly even 90 at my level. Yeah, so I'll just pretend I have a bunch of fossils here, and yeah, what I do is, this isn't the most efficient way to do it, but I just go to my pool and then I decide, okay, I want to go bank here, so I just go teleport to the Grand Exchange and then I do my banking and stuff. Then after that, I would just go back to my house, and then go back to Fossil Island. So obviously, if you have something like a dual ring, or even better, like a crafting cape, that would be ideal to have somewhere. So you don't have to do what I just did. And then you go back here, and then you use your spec and start the process again. And that's about it. So hopefully that was helpful in increasing your AFK but efficient EXP at this woodcutting method. I don't usually make skilling videos, but figured this would be a nice one to make. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.